Hi, and welcome to Come Play with Meeples. My name is Joe, and today we're continuing our playthrough of Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, with Scenario 4, A Ritual in Stone. Now, before we get started, I realized there was a new mechanic that came in at the end of the third scenario. In the original Gloomhaven, you actually did this before a scenario, but now it's telling you to actually do it when you complete a scenario. What am I talking about? It is the city events. So in Jaws of the Lion, you're supposed to do it when you complete the scenario, not to start the scenario. So before we even get to our intro, let's complete scenario 3 by reading this card, and then we have to make a decision at the bottom. Then we get to flip the card over and do whatever option you chose. So in this case, I had to shuffle the deck, and I got card number 10. So let me read it off to you. A witch! An inox docker slurs loudly from the corner of the sleeping lion. She came out of the sewers and turned the foreman into a fish. You turn back to your drink, but the man keeps shouting, I'll stake 3 days' pay for anyone who can kill her. Suddenly, you are interested in his ramblings. You follow the drunk's directions, which, predictably, get you hopelessly lost in the network of sewers under Gloomhaven. You're considering just tunneling to the surface when you hear scratching behind you. You draw your weapons, turn, ready for a fight. An ancient Velreth stands feebly before you, bent and weazened with age. A cord of dried fish hangs around her neck. She ignores your weapons and silently points a gnarled finger past you down a nearby passage. So option A, cut her down and claim the reward. Option B, she's just an old hermit in the sewer. Leave her and follow where she pointed. That is a tough decision. I mean, the dock worker is drunk apparently. So would you take the word of a drunk for the money, or would you see what she wants? I don't think I'm going to trust the word of a drunk, and I will go with this lady who just seems to be in the sewers. Option B. You wave farewell and start down the passage, but the croon follows close behind. She wasn't pointing your way out, but instead guiding you toward a small hovel where a cauldron bubbles over an anemic campfire. The Valrith pours each of you a cup of the most delicious fish soup you've ever tasted, and after a pleasant time sipping in silence, you leave feeling much heartier. You wonder why the dock worker would make such an unkind accusations against this poor sewer hermit. Each character gains a bless. So it's very similar to the curse cards that you would get. Now instead, you are each going to get one of these into your modifier deck. So I will shuffle that into each character's modifier deck, as well as at the end of the last scenario, for Danny here, I chose this perk here to remove one -2 card and add one +1 card, trying to make it more predictable, the deck. And under that same idea with Harry here, I simply removed 2 -1 cards. So that was the options there I picked for those perks. This is about the longest intro I've ever had for one of my games. So let's get started. Welcome back. So there was a few new changes again between these scenarios, as this game is trying to ease you into it over the first 5. After this one, I don't think there's a whole lot of new mechanics to come after this. I think we're just about there. So to start, one of the first things is you will see our character boards there. They have a lot more cards. All those A and B cards are now gone, and they won't come back. Now instead we each have our full level 1 cards. And Danny there has 9 cards, and Harry has 10 cards. I've also rearranged the board a little bit because this time we're bringing in a third piece to the map. So this time I have the character boards off to the side where you can't see them. I'm trying to keep the cards up there so at least you can see how many are left at any given time. And this time there's also a new enemy called stone golems. And we no longer use the basic attack modifiers here for the enemies. Instead, we are now told to use the rest of the cards, the normal decks. And one other thing to happen yet, bringing in to this new scenario, is the element board way up there on the top. So as things happen, and I'll talk about that when it actually happens, you can get elements come into the area, and then they will slowly wane and then disappear, but they could be used by us or by the enemies. And the last thing is that we get now battle goals. So there's a deck of cards here, and you are to draw 2 at random, and then each character would secretly decide what they want their personal goals to be for this round. But in our case, since we're playing solo 2-handed, I will simply draw 2 cards out each, and we will know what each other's secret goal is for this round. So for Danny over here, he pulled Hothead and Pacifist. And I don't like either one of them. So I think I will try the Pacifist, but I don't know if I'm necessarily going to go for that goal of only killing 3 enemies. So normally we would hide this from our teammates, but in this case we're not going to worry about that. And then for Harry, he drew Mugger and Gambler. So I think I will have him try Mugger. That, again, won't be an easy one. And now the game is set up and ready to go. So let's read the introduction. You arrive at the building marked on the map, an old abattoir, and find an unexpected scene. The entire building has burnt down and is now nothing more than a scorched husk. This is certainly a new development, as you clearly remember the structure standing before you left on your hunt up the Still River. And the fact that the location has been implicated in your search, well, the whole thing is rather suspicious, even if you can't put your finger on exactly why. A little bit of searching through charred rubble isn't going to stop you from getting to the bottom of this, though. Eventually, you uncover a set of stairs leading into a stone cellar. Given it's the only piece of the structure intact, you make your way down. A powerful smell of death grows increasingly stronger as you descend, until it almost overwhelms you, enveloping you like a suffocating blanket. Thoughts of turning back creep into your mind, but then you hear the chanting. The tone and the cadence is similar to those creeps on the ship with the bloody altar. It doesn't take much longer to find the source. A short hallway at the base of the stairs leads into a large open room full of more red-robed zealots. Their chanting reaches a crescendo, and the whole floor begins to shake violently. Fissures erupt from the ground around 4 massive rune-covered stones scattered around the room. Cracks form in the ceiling, sending huge chunks of rocks crashing down. Your mind focuses on a singular goal, pushing away all other complications of the last few weeks. If you don't end whatever ritual is going on right now, you will all be buried alive. So the special rules are that you now use all the level 1 cards for each character. And the objectives are summoning stones. They have C+1 hit points, meaning number of characters plus 1, so in this case 3 hit points each, and can only be targeted by melee attacks. When 2 summoning stones have been destroyed, read part 1. So with that being done, we can now populate the map. This is one big room, so we don't have to worry about doors. So I will put our characters here and here, and then we have to populate the rest. So just give me a minute and I will do that right away. Alright, I have set up the map. As you can see, there is now 2 regular zealots and 1 elite zealot, as well as 1 golem down here that's regular. So not too many enemies to start, but again, keep in mind that our first goal is to destroy 2 of these ritual stones, and there's 4 of them on the board. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and one there. Once we do that, then we can read part 1. And again, I'm sorry about the glare here a little bit. I'm trying to fix that. I am getting some lights to hopefully help with that going forward. All right, so to start, we have to pick our player's cards. And I have decided I was going to use these two here for Danny. And for Harry, I was thinking something fast. I need him to get up there. I wanted the range attack here and something that can get him to move up a little bit. So there we have 19 and 24. Now we draw to see what the stone golem is going to do. And he's going to move at 28. He's going to move and he will have ranged attack with pole. I somehow doubt he'll have the range. I think he'll end up just moving. And the zealots will go at 19. So they will move and then attack and try to curse us. Danny and the zealots both have 19, and I believe we get to decide who goes first. So we will have Danny go first. This time I have the little chips off to the side here again, just to try to save some room. Then Harry will go, zealots. Then Harry, then the stone golem. Everybody's going pretty quick this round. So first Danny gets to go. And he was going to do the move 3. I was just going to have him actually move 2. And then destroy 1 adjacent obstacle. And if you do, gain 1 experience and perform Bless Self. So I can add another Bless card into his deck there. So he will now have 2 of these. And just like the other curses, when they do get drawn, then they do come out. He gains an experience for that. And we put a destroyed, so this becomes a regular hex again. Then for his second action, he is going to attack 2 with a range of 4. So it's only a range of 2 that he needs. And then what this means is that fire element will become strong. You can't use it on your turn, but anybody over the next 2 turns can use that element if they have the ability to do so. So he will hit him for 2 plus, well, there's one of our blessings already. So that actually hit him for 4, but now this does come out of his deck. So 4 damage on number 4 there. Oops. And that is Danny's turn. Now the zealots will go, and they will move with jump, and they are trying to melee attack. So we always start with the elites first. So he can move 2 plus 1 is 3, and he has jump, so he can just get as close as he can. 1, 2, 3. But he's not close enough to melee attack, so he won't. So next would come this one here. He will move. He is now within melee of Danny. So he is going to attack for 2 minus 1. Plus 1 is 2. So he'll hit him for 2, making his health 6. But now he is also cursed. So now we add one of these curse tokens to his deck. And finally this last one will move, and he will move 3 spaces closer, but he won't actually reach us. And now it does make it Harry's turn. So what I can do here is I can move 3, which is what I wanted to do, and then there is going to be wind in the room. And I was just going to have him move to here because I want him to be in ranged for this ranged attack of 3. Modified 4. He already had 4 damage, so that is greater than 6, and this first one is now gone. He will drop a coin. And that is Harry's turn. And now we go to the stone golem. He is a regular, so he's going to move at a speed of 1 plus 1. So he'll move 2, and he's looking for ranged attack. So he'll go here. He can range of 3. 1, 2, 3. So nowhere near our characters. All right, for our second turn, we start first by weighting these elements that are in the air. And I'm hoping to kind of cash in on those with our characters this round. So I'm going to use these 2 cards here. I need to think a bit about who I want to go in which order here to make this work. I was going to take this one and this one. So I do think, because I'm hoping he can finish him off and then get this bonus experience down here. So that's why I'm going to make him go just a little bit slower at 35. So now we see what the enemies are going to do. So the stone golem is going to move at 83. He's going to move and try to melee attack, but I don't think he's going to reach us quite yet. Well, the zealots are going to go at 77. They're going to move and they're going to try to attack and poison us. So in this case, our characters do go first, Danny, and then Harry, and then the zealots will go, and then the stone golem. So we are first going to have Harry go, and he is first going to go move 2, and then 1 adjacent enemy that is adjacent to a wall. Oh, no, he's not adjacent to a wall, so he's just going to move 2. So I'm going to have him move to here so he can collect the money. And then he is going to attack 2 and then push 2. And then if there's fire in the area, you can consume it. That's what this cross out means. And then I can add +1 to the attack and +1 to the push, and I'll gain experience. So I'm definitely going to do that. So I will use the fire. It's going to be an attack of 3 on this elite. So he just hits him for 3. And now he can push him up to 3. I do believe you have to use it then. So in that case, I will definitely push him into this trap. So that's going to cause another 3 damage onto him, moving his health to 6. And then I'll move him into this difficult area. And that does cause Danny there to gain another experience point. So a lot going on his turn, but he almost eliminated that zealot all on his own. I'm still trying to make it that he gets the first attacks, and then hopefully Harry can finish him off, so maybe he can get this pacifist ability, because so long as he doesn't kill them, he is fine. So next is Harry. So these were Harry's cards. And I was first going to get him to do the attack here. So it's an attack of 3, range of 3, because I'm going to use the wind for him as well. So he'll gain the experience, and then he can actually push him again if necessary. So let us first get that experience onto our board. It's an attack of 3, and then a push. Okay, so he hits him for 3, plus 6 is 9. They have total health of 8. So in that case, we have eliminated him. I don't know if you still get to push since he is knocked out. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And then he can move 3, and then he can add 2, move, and then gain 1 XP if you killed an enemy this round, and he just did. So now he's free to move right on up. I think I'm going to have him go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he may as well go for this coin. So he's in place to attack that column. And now the Zealot can go, and he is going to move one space, trying to get within melee range, and of course he won't be able to make it. So his focus right now will be Danny, because he is closer. So we just move one closer to Harry. And now it is the Stone Golem's turn. He is also going to move just one space closer, and again he can't attack us. So that is the end of the second round. We would move all the elements to the left by one, but they're already in the inert, so that is done. And now we can pick our next cards. All right, for this turn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two cards here. I'm hoping Harry can destroy this column here with this one and then move back into the action afterwards. I do want him to go fairly fast, so I'm going to have him go at 17. I'm going to have Danny play these two cards. I do want him to go a bit slow. I'm actually hoping for the Zealot to go first, so that way he'll move closer and then Danny can just attack him. So I'm going to actually have him go at 88. So now we'll see what the Stone Golem will do. Again, actually he's not going to move because it's a move of -1 and he only has a movement of 1, so he won't even be in range to attack, but he'll go at 90. And the Zealot is going to go at 46. He's not going to move, he's just going to try to attack. So that kind of messes up Danny's plan. Okay, so in this case, Harry will go first, then the Zealot, then Danny, and then the Golem. So first Harry can go. I think I want to try to destroy this column here right away. So I'm going to have an attack of 3. It has to be with melee, and he is going to gain an experience for this. So he'll take up to 2. So he hits it for 3 plus 0. That is enough to destroy that first column. And then for the other half, he won't be able to wound, but I will get him to move the 3. 1, 2, 3. Because I do want him to go there. Actually, yes, this is good. He'll go here for 3. This way he'll take the blow as well. And now we go to the Zealot's turn. Zealot is looking for a range attack. He won't move, but he won't have range. He will focus on Harry. Oh, he will target 2 though. Okay. In that case, since he's going to target 2, I'm going to just rearrange Harry's turn here a little bit. And I'll just have him go 1, 2, 3 with his 3 movement. Actually, he can go 2 and then 3 because he had jump. And this way he is out of range since the Zealot here can target 2. So this way he can only target Danny. He will have an attack of 1 minus 1. So he hits him for 1. And that will make him move down to 5 health. In addition, Danny now gets muddled as well. And since there's no fire element in the room, he cannot use this to add to his range. Just so you understand how that works. And now it's Danny's turn. And originally what I was hoping to do was that the Zealot would move forward, so he would be in melee range, and then he could attack and hopefully collect the loot. But in this case, this game doesn't always go the way you hope, so instead I'm going to have to move up to him, and then do the 1-2 punch on this Zealot. So first we'll make him move. I'll make him move to here, and then I'll use the 1-2 punch, and I'll do both onto the Zealot there. So the first one is an attack of 2, modified. So it's 4 then. That was a good time for that to come out. And then for his second attack, it'll be an attack of 1, modified, plus 1, so that's 2. And that is enough to eliminate this Zealot as well. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a die to this card to help me remember how many I have killed already. Now I also get to push and muddle, and I gain 1 if I did both attacks on the same enemy, so he will gain another experience. So that will bring it up to 3. So now it would be the Stone Golem's turn. He will move for 1 -1, so he's not going to move at all. He's looking for melee attack. Nobody's near him, so that's the end of his turn. And now we go back to picking cards. And I think our focus now needs to be on destroying a second one of these columns, knowing that the whole goal will be to destroy all 4 of these summoning stones. So for this turn, I think I'm going to have Danny take these 2 cards. I kind of want him to move up and then prepare this wind up for future attacks. That way he's in position to destroy this summoning stone. As for Harry, I'd like to get him to move up to here as well for that one. However, the rules state that you have to have a melee attack to destroy these, and a lot of his remaining cards are ranged cards. So I think I'll just have him use this card for either its attack or move. And then probably the same thing on this one as well. I'm not so worried about this golem yet. He seems to be moving very slow and he's nowhere near us. But that being said, we do have a couple of decks to shuffle. And now we can see what the Stone Golem is going to do. And he's going to go at 64. He will move 1, try to melee attack, but again, he won't be in range. So in this case, Danny will go, and then Harry, and then the Stone Golem. So Danny will go first. He will use this card to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. May as well grab money. And then he will set this up. It'll be off screen again, but he will set this up for the next 2 attacks. And now it's Harry's turn, and I think all he's going to do is move 2 and attack 2 using these side ones, so it doesn't really matter which ones he does. So he'll move 2 and then attack 2 on this column here, and he missed because that makes it a 0. So now the Stone Golem will go. He will move up 1 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he will focus on Harry and move 1 up. Now it is our turn again. And I'm kind of thinking of having Danny here long rest because he is down to 5 health. So if he long rests, he'll heal 2 hit points. So that is what I'm going to get him to do. He has to rest. And then on this side here, I think he'll just try to attack this column 1 more time. So then we do have the Stone Golem card to come, and they are going to move at 28. So he's actually going to move beforehand, and he is going to be within range to do a ranged attack. So actually that will make the Golem go first, then Harry, and finally Danny. So the Stone Golem will move 1 + 1, trying to get within a range of 3. 1, 2, 3, so he's got to get to here at least. And then it's an attack of 3 - 2 is only 1. And he hits him for 1, so that moves his health down to 7. Now the Golem also has a few other things here too, so now he will pull him. So he'll pull him 2, 1, 2, because again, difficult terrain does not affect with the pull and the push. And now Harry is also immobilized, meaning he cannot move until the end of his next turn. But that's okay, he wasn't wanting to move anyway. So now it is Harry's turn. And now I'm starting to wonder if it would be better to attack this golem now that he is within range. So then I think I will use just the regular attack 2 here, modified against the golem for -1 is 1. Well, the stone golem also has a shield of 1, so he doesn't hit him. And then the other one, he can't move. He could loot, but there's nothing near him. So that is Harry's turn. And now for Danny, he gets to long rest. So he will lose this implode card. He gets to choose. The other ones go back onto his hand. And he gets to heal 2 hit points, bringing him back to 7. So that is the end of that round. So we're going to keep playing until we reach the point where we're going to have to read part 1 there. And then I think I'm going to cut it off, and then we'll continue the playthrough on another one. The last episode was a lot longer than I usually look for. I'm looking for about a 30-minute video every time. So I got a feeling these scenarios now are going to get longer, so I'm going to have to break them up into a couple of episodes. So this time I will actually have Harry short rest because he's got the enemy right on top of him and he's out of cards, which means in his case we are going to have to take a card out at random. Shuffle them up one more time, and I will pick this one. So he lost stopping power. Okay, so for our characters, we're going to use this power pitch and center mass, hoping to move him away from the golem, and then I will use this lost card and try to hit him hard. Won't take him out, but hopefully get some damage done. In the meantime, Danny is going to still try to destroy this one here. So he was going to use this attack 3, and then hopefully he can move and get another blast. And then the stone golem is going to go at 28, so our characters do get to go first. So it will be Danny, then Harry, then the stone golem. So Danny will go first. He will attack 3 onto this summoning stone. Now all the rest of this is talking about that then the target can't heal, but that doesn't really apply in this case. So he hits it for 3. -1 is 2. So unfortunately, he doesn't quite destroy that one. I was hoping to use the move and then bless, but I think I'm just going to have to use this card for its normal attack of 2 to destroy this column. So he does destroy this column. It becomes a regular space. And then the rules do state the objectives or the summoning stones, they have 3 hit points and can only be targeted by melee attacks. When 2 summoning stones have been destroyed, read part 1. So let's go ahead and do that. The tremors have subsided. You feel you've finally gotten a handle on things. But then, more men with robes rush from the deeper tunnels of this wretched place to aid the others. So special rule is spawn 1 normal and 1 elite zealot at B, location B. Additionally, spawn 2 normal zealots at C for 3 characters, or 1 normal and 1 elite at C for 4 characters. When the remaining 2 summoning stones have been destroyed, then read part 2. So in this case, we have only 2 players. So we will be spawning 1 normal and 1 zealot at location B. So I'm not sure, I guess it has to be adjacent to this here. So I think the zealot would always go first, or sorry, the elite would always go there first, and then a normal, anywhere adjacent. So now we will finish off this round, and then we will end this episode. So now that there's zealots out here again, we have to now flip a card for them, and they will move with 77. And now it's Hatchet's turn. So he was going to move away so he can get range on this stone golem. So difficult terrain for 2, plus 1 is 3. Now he'd have a push ability. However, he's not adjacent to anybody. And now he will use this attack of 6 on the stone golem and gain 2 experience, but this card is now lost. So let's gain those 2 experience first. I always like to do the experience first because that tends to be something you tend to forget afterwards. So now it's an attack of 6 times 2. Wow. So that makes it 12. That was perfect timing. The stone golem has a shield of 1, so that makes it 11. His total health is 10, so he got him in 1 hit. And now the zealots will go, starting with the elite. So they have movement of 2, minus 1. So he'll move forward 1. He is trying to melee attack. He's not close enough. So now then the other one will go. He will also move 1, try to melee attack, not close enough. So that's where we're going to end this episode here today. So please join me for part 2 of this scenario 4 next time, and come play with meeples.